Um, all right. Well, today on Vinyl Verdict, we've got one of my personal favorites from my teenage years, a posthumous grunge album from Blind Melon, Nico. I own this record. We all listened to it, and now we're going to talk about it.
Yay.
I am Plouffe.
I am Jamie.
And I'm Belle.
It's true. It says so right on your shirt.
So yeah, I chose this one because I just love this band, and this one in particular I kind of connect with. It's not my favorite album by Blind Melon. They had kind of a short run from 1990 to 1995 due to the death of lead singer Shannon Hoon at the age of 28.
Really?
Yeah, he was in and out of rehab at the time, and his counselor suggested that they didn't go on tour, but they did, and then he died of a cocaine-induced heart attack after a few weeks on the road.
That's crazy.
Oh.
I had no idea.
Yeah, so Nico is his daughter, and this was basically a tribute album using previous recordings that were leftovers from other albums or recorded in various locations, which the band members then added their own bits to later on.
I am surprised. It felt pretty coherent.
Yeah, some of them are definitely a bit more raw than others. You can tell that they weren't all recorded in the same place or whatever, especially when you know the history of it. But yeah, I think all the proceeds initially went to Nico, a trust fund that was set up for her.
Something about like a college fund or something.
Yeah.
Like
I don't know if all proceeds still are donated. This was only just pressed on vinyl for the first time, I'm pretty sure, a couple years ago or a few years ago, and I picked up the limited release. I really wish I'd gotten the clear version because apparently the clear version is worth like $300 or something.
Dang.
Mine's only like $120 or something like that.
Only. Yeah. I like the album art for this.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's really cool.
So that's actually a picture of Shannon, and the tattoo that's on his arm is a poem written by his grandmother or great-grandmother, and that's actually recited on a track from one of their other albums.
Wow, that's so cool.
On Car Seat. Yeah. So, I don't know. They did go on to record one more album in 2006. They found a new singer, Travis Warren. They made one album with him then, and now they tour with that guy. It's okay. I still prefer their first two or even their first three if you include Nico. I started listening to them a couple years before the new album came out, and I got really into it, and then I got super excited, and then it was okay, so a little disappointed. It's actually like my buddy, one of my best friends. This is one of his favorite bands of all time, and so he kind of got me into them. Yeah, I don't know. I love it. What'd you guys think?
It was not what I expected.
Really?
I don't know what I expected. I was like, yo, play No Rain.
Yeah, that's what they're
and then
known
they did
for.
do that.
They did, and I was like, I mean, we'll talk about it later, but
Yeah.
I was like, is it going to be like Matchbox 20, maybe Train?
Sure.
And it's like, oh, it's like a slightly more poppy Nirvana, which
Kind
is not
of.
what I had expected, but I liked it quite
Cool.
a bit.
Oh, I'm surprised. Yeah. Jamie, what about you?
I hate Blind Melon.
Yeah. So I thought, I know that you hate them because of No Rain, though. And it's funny because Shannon actually hates No Rain. He didn't write that
I'm
song.
sure.
They wrote it before he joined the band.
Yeah.
Brad Smith wrote it, the bassist. And so he came on, he's like, I hate this song.
Yeah.
He rewrote it, wrote the ripped away version. And that's the one that they actually, I think that they play that, or they would play that before.
That's actually what I
No
expected.
Rain.
I'm like, they definitely changed it because I hated playing that song live.
Yeah.
Or like whatever it was. So
Yeah.
then they could still say they play it.
Yeah.
But it's a version that.
Yeah, it's like
obviously
an
he likes
alternate
better.
take.
Yeah. That's funny. So I'm surprised you liked it as much. I thought you guys would both come in here kind of hating it, to be honest.
That's fine. Yeah, because we usually hate your pick.
Yeah. Usually.
I don't.
It's
I don't-
switched though. Now it's Jamie's. I'm like, no, I don't like Jamie's. It's all about blues.
I just have to find more space prisons.
Yeah, we need some. What do you call it? Space wave.
Space
Yeah,
wave.
Space Wave. Yeah.
I'm gonna bring it up every episode I can now.
Space wave. I don't actually hate this album.
Sure.
This album is fine. It is, like Belle said, pretty cohesive for a compilation album.
Yeah.
Like made up of like cutting room floor songs from their previous 3 albums.
2 albums. Yeah,
Two
they made
albums.
self-titled and then Soup.
Right.
And surprisingly, Soup is a track on this one that didn't make it onto the title album.
To the title album. Yeah. I listened to it twice. I listened
Okay.
to it over headphones.
Yep.
And I listened to it over my stereo. And I think it's a better headphones album.
Yeah.
I did like those
stereo
headphones, yeah.
album.
Yeah, that rings true to me as well.
Yeah.
You can really hear the like raw nature that's in a lot of the tracks. Like
Yeah.
a couple of them are recorded in like hotel rooms or in like a cabin in the woods. Some of these are
yeah.
from a snowboarding trip that they went on after.
It does sound sort of muddy.
Yeah.
There's sort of like a gritty to it.
Yeah, and Shannon. Yeah, so these guys kind of were around the Pearl Jam era.
Yeah. Very much
Nirvana. Really grungy.
Pearl Jam, Nirvana. What's another one that I can think of?
Jane's Addiction.
Sure, Jane's Addiction.
Yeah, Jane's Addiction. Shannon is actually he sang with Axl Rose on a Guns N' Roses track because they're from the same place. They're both from Lafayette, Indiana. So yeah, he sings on "Don't Cry" by Guns N' Roses, which is just kind of a little funny tidbit. I like Blind Melon because I like all the instruments, but I also just really like Shannon's weird, scratchy voice.
Yeah.
That not a lot of people can get into.
Yeah.
It's kind of either hit and miss most of the time, but for me it hits. And so I like how different it is. And especially knowing that a lot of these tracks were when he was like really f***ed up and before he basically had an overdose and died. And the story about that is that he actually there's a book, Devil on One Shoulder, Angel on the Other, and it's comprised mostly of interviews with the different band members or family friends and stuff like that. And it goes over, he basically one night someone found him in their bunk and they're like, yo, what the fuck? Like, you don't sleep, apparently on tour buses, you do not sleep in someone else's bunk. Like, you sleep in yours. But he didn't think about it. He's like, Shannon's just f***ed up again, and like went to sleep and woke up and he was dead. So I think he's always, I can't remember who found him like that, but I think they said that they've always had a bit of remorse that they didn't actually get around to doing something a little earlier. I think it's like sadly funny how they told him not to do this and then they went and did it. And then they also had a counselor or like a handler for Shannon on the tour to make sure he doesn't do drugs and stuff. They fired him like a week before this happened too.
Oh, man.
Before he died, yeah. So tragic, but it is what it is. They then released an album, gave it to his daughter, and that's how we have Nico. And I like it. Let's give it a listen here real quick, and then we can talk about some of the tracks.
Hell yeah.
The clothesline of cold eyes washing away the face before. Now tell me what's wrong. You see everyone's right. Sleep all goddamn day, and I start to complain. There's no rain. Like that you can be, and ain't it a pity? But it's alright to smile back at me, and if we both go there, big stretch, not much sleep in the big palm tree, loving you against my cheek.
The Pusher. I liked that. It was not what I expected because I was like, it's going to be about drugs.
It is about drugs.
It's about the drug of religion.
Yeah, kind of. It's both, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's originally a Steppenwolf song, actually.
About drugs.
Yeah. So it's a cover that they then added an extra verse to on the end. And I always really liked that, actually. I prefer this version over Steppenwolf's, even though it's like a classic song.
Well, Steppenwolf's version is very slow.
Yes.
And then this one is kind of more jaunty, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels very pained. And I like how, like, I don't know, just in suffering, he sounds like he is on here. It really sounds raw and he's anyway. As for Hell, I just really like the lyrics on it a lot. Like, I'll disintegrate over time if I expect my body
lyrics
to
are gross.
keep up with my mind. Yeah, they're neat.
A lot of harmonica, which I don't like. But
Oh, really? I love the harmonica
I
on
don't
it.
like harmonica. That's some of the things. I just don't like harmonica.
Oh,
in
really?
general.
I love harmonica and even kazoo if you do it right, honestly.
I gotta I guess I'm pulling out all my Neil Young. We're never
Hell
listening
yeah.
to Neil Young.
I did like the jauntiness of this, though.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's weird.
It's like
so,
a little upper beat and stuff like that. And then, again, very gross.
yeah. They do a lot of breakdowns, if you guys notice, in all their songs. Pretty much, they're like, I don't know if they're known for it, but like almost every Blind Melon song switches things up like halfway, 2/3 through. And they do a big breakdown and kind of change what's going on. But yeah, I liked Hell. I even like the stupid, that was fine, that plays at the end of the track. And then we get into Soup. So this was meant to be on their second album, Soup. Apparently they didn't think that it fit really well, but I actually think it would have. So I don't know why. I actually usually forget that it's on Nico until it comes on. I always think that it's on Soup. It's just really sad and kind of very fitting for a posthumous album.
Delicious beans.
Yeah.
I like on the Spotify when you can like see the lyrics and it goes through with the song. And the last lyric is just a smiley face. And it's like where the background singing comes in at like what is it, like 240 or whatever with the near the end.
Yeah,
Or
pull the
144.
trigger and I'll make it all go away.
Yeah, and then it's just like
so
oohs and
depressing.
ahs, and there's a little smiley faces for the last lyric, and I was
Oh
like, oh,
my
how
God.
unsettling after
Macabre.
that
That's
ending.
crazy.
Yeah.
And then we get into the No Rain ripped away version.
Wow, they really asked, how can we take our most popular song and make it absolutely horrible to listen to?
Yeah,
man.
like 4 years after the song comes out.
I strongly prefer the ripped away
Oh, it's
version.
horrendous.
It's probably the worst song on this album.
I
100%.
also dislike regular No Rain. It's too happy and upbeat and I totally prefer the ripped away version.
Then they should have just stopped performing it.
Like,
Maybe. Why just ruin it? As somebody who
No
likes
Rain
that
is a
everyone.
terrible song, and this is a terrible version of a terrible song.
This is the one this is the version they played on Saturday Night Live. I don't know. I still just prefer this one. It's all sad and shit. I like and melancholic the whole thing is.
The singing is just so grating.
Yeah.
Awful.
Yeah, it's definitely the worst.
Nails on a
album. It's gotta
chalkboard.
be.
I love that though. Soul One was original in the original recording was done in 1991.
Oh, okay.
It was written by Brad and probably it was by Brad or about Brad, I can't remember, but it's basically the lyrics are about his first love or something like that and being all naive and thinking about finding your soulmate in the first person that you meet. Because if you notice, the lyrics are like sad and lovey, but they're all like, I thought she was my soul one and blah blah blah. But yeah, I like the acoustic. I think it's a nice song.
Yeah, it was a good song. I don't really have any thoughts about it, but I do like it. I like the sad boy vibe.
Yeah.
Again, it matches what's being played and stuff like that.
Totally.
Some of these songs you can tell why they were left
Sure.
behind. Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
They were not chosen for the album for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, this is definitely my least favorite of the original 3 Blind Melon albums. Soup is probably my favorite,
Sure.
but I still like it a lot. I just connect it with it a bit more. John Sinclair is actually a John Lennon cover.
Yes.
Interesting.
It's about a dude who went to jail for smoking weed.
I didn't really like it.
Yeah,
the
I don't-
guitar is a bit too grating for me.
I don't like this one either. This is easily my least favorite song on the album. I think it goes on too long. I think the choruses is like they even make a joke about it. Like if you can hear during the whole like got to part. At one point he like he stops and like takes a big breath.
I think that's probably the best part of the song
Oh man, I hate the whole
because the guitar
thing.
is less just shreddy, but in a bad way.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a Lennon song about a guy who went to jail for having 2 joints. They gave him 10 for 2, hence the lyrics. Yeah. All That I Need.
Like the last album we did last week. This is the song where the band leaves and it's only the singer on stage playing and singing.
Yeah. I like it, but I like acoustic and a singer a lot of the time, so I actually really like All That I Need.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. I like the little outtake he does at the very start when he's kind of practicing, and then he
I don't like that.
and then he kicks in.
It's
Yeah,
too cheesy for me.
that's fine.
Glitch is the next song.
Yeah, I like the percussion and flute.
I like the percussion.
This one's really like kind of tribal almost, like spooky, haunting tribal music.
Sure.
I really like it.
No.
Why? What don't you like about it, Jamie? You can't just say I don't like it. You gotta give me.
Yeah, Jamie's been silent like me on the last week's album.
I didn't like it because I didn't like the transition between it and from All That I Need
into glitch.
into Glitch.
That's fair. Sure.
It felt kind of disjointed to me when they went into that one. If it had been lower in the track list, I might have liked it a little
Okay.
bit better.
It's funny because we just checked and this is the start of side B is glitch.
Yeah.
So I think when you play it physically, it kind of works a little better.
Yeah, if you're playing it on CD,
Yeah.
like it
Exactly.
just goes right into
Totally,
it, right?
yeah.
So
But I found myself a bit more engaged. Didn't really feel like it was 3 minutes and 20 seconds, and I was like head bobbing along.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not a whole lot of substance to it, but it's just like the percussion's good. So.
Yeah. Life Ain't So This was recorded in a hotel room after touring for their first album. I like the traffic at the start and kind of how you can hear it throughout.
Mm-hmm.
This is where my tattoo's from that I've got on my arm. I just got Life Ain't So tattooed on my arm. I don't even think the song is all that good necessarily. I just kind of connect with it. I think it's short and sweet, and I like it. It's
I like
just,
it too.
Yeah, it's just Life Ain't So
The
shitty.
traffic
Yeah.
noises, like there's really loud breaks close
Yeah.
to the end, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, this is like hard to listen to. But I do like the vibe of being like just him on the street playing a song, busking,
Yeah.
or in a hotel room.
Yeah.
But yeah, the break noises, I was like,
It does sound very raw.
Yeah, definitely. Swallowed. I actually always forget that this one is on here until it comes on. I think it's okay. Probably the most spacey song on the record.
Yeah.
I like this one.
Yeah, it's not super standout for me, but it's also not bad. I like the breakdown, like halfway to 2/3 through it.
Yeah, it is probably one of the more lit songs that I find listenable on
Cool.
this album.
Yeah, the guitar lines I think are really good. And
Yeah.
again, just had me like headbanging along.
Yeah. For Pull, I really like the drum intro and then the guitar and then Shannon and the bass and stuff. I really like how they kind of just slowly layer everything on. It's like Swallowed in that I forget that it's on here, but it's different in that, like, Swallowed, I'm just kind of like, oh, sure. But with this one, I was like, oh, yeah, I forgot that Pull's on this record. And then I really get into it. This is probably one of my more favorite songs on the record. I would have loved to seen it live. They've actually played, there's a famous show at the Commodore that they played here in like 94 or 3, I can't remember. But yeah, they played a show at the Commodore here, and I really wish I could have gone, but I was too young. Yeah. And then St. Andrew's Hall.
It's one of my favorite songs on the album.
Cool. So this is actually on Soup as St. Andrew's Fall, and it was written after they played a show there, like at St. Andrew's Hall, and I think it's Detroit. And then afterward, they were arguing about something when Shannon saw a woman jump off a 20th floor of a building across the street.
No way.
Yeah, and so they wrote a song, that hence the whole 20 below bit that's in the track. I really like the trombone and the trello. I think they're a really good addition to it. It keeps it very melancholic throughout.
I was like, wow, a happy song. And it's catchy, too. And I was like, whoa, we're getting a little out there, a little psychedelic. And then I was like, oh, sitting on the edge of the building. Oh. And then it really shifts. All of a sudden it's like 20 below and it's like a harder rock and it gets like really heavy, and I was like, wow, you're really not allowed happiness on this album.
No.
Like, there's nothing
You
good.
can't enjoy it.
It's like I'm in the sun, I got the trees next to me. You should have been here yesterday. You should have been helping me. I needed help. And the long outro was like really unsettling. So I'm like, if it had been the first half of the song longer, I would have like really liked this. It's still my favorite song on the album.
Sure.
But I don't want to listen to it because it's like, it's upsetting.
Depressing. Yeah,
It's
extremely depressing.
very
much so.
upsetting.
And then we get to the final track, Letters from a Porcupine.
The only one that's more upsetting than the last song. It's just like, again, very sad.
Yes.
Unsettling. Because even like the weird scatting at the start on the voicemail is like weird.
Yeah.
And it's catchy, and I like the effect usage. And then it's just like, you died, and like, oh, there's no one here left, and all this stuff. And the song gets interrupted at the end with the voicemail. And I'm like, this is like a horror movie's credit scenes.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
So, yeah, it was recorded on an answering machine.
Yep.
Shannon got in a fight with someone, like a friend of his, and then instead of apologizing, he left this as an apology on the answering machine.
If I got that, I'd be watching my back. Like, what a psycho. That's so creepy.
I really like Letters from a Porcupine. I like the weird audio of it because it's on an answering machine, but I think it fits really well. And yeah, I like the weird, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Not scatting, but like vocalizing he does at the start. I think that's really good too.
It's just so hard because I like it so much. I feel like the fact that it ends so abruptly is what is partially unsettling, especially being the end of the album.
Yeah,
It's just like beep, and it's over, and I'm like, oh, that was weird. But I do like the DIED. That's what you did, but and it's like, oh, I like that. I wish it would kept going.
Right.
But
I like how impassioned he sounds when he's singing it. He definitely sounds like he has a lot of energy and emotion going on at the time. So that's probably like why I like this album so much, even though it's not my favorite Blind Melon album, is because he just, in every single song, he sounds very passionate and sad and just shitty. And it's all because he was, he was pretty fucked up at the time, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
The 90s were a great time for tortured artists.
The 90s were a great time.
yeah, up until the year all of them died.
Yeah, right?
Like 94, 95.
And if they didn't get him back then, they got him later.
Yeah, that's
Sorry,
right.
Chris Cornell.
Oh.
Yeah, it's sad.
Forever tortured artists there.
I know, yeah.
Chris Cornell's so good.
I know. What a sad thing. I'm lucky I got to see Soundgarden before he died.
Same.
Oh, nice.
I also saw Audios though, but
I wish my
Audio
friends
Slave.
saw Audio Slave. I'm gonna pick at some point my Audio Slave record because I love that band.
Yeah. Remember, Rage Against the Machine minus Zach De La Rocha is just Audio Slave.
Well, yeah, totally, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's a pretty good album, and it didn't come out on record until later, and my friend told me about it when it was coming out, so I was lucky that I got one of the like limited pressings. I've got the limited edition. It is a gatefold, but it's only got the record on one side, so you've actually got a big picture of the band in the middle, and that's it. There's nothing in the left
Yeah, it's just
like
closed
sleeve
off.
or whatever. It's
Yeah.
just closed off, yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting because there's quite a few tracks. So
Yeah.
I'm surprised it wasn't a double, but
Yeah,
Some
some
of
of
them
them
are
are
long.
short.
they're
Tracks
not
are
super
very
long.
short.
Yeah, some of them are like 2 minutes, especially like Letters from a Porcupine. It comes with a track list, and some of the tracks have little tidbits of information on them, just notes from the band, like we recorded this at the Big Mammoth mountain cabin that we rented, or whatever. Shannon got upset at somebody, or whatever else.
Classic Shannon.
That they
Fucking
classic
Shannon guy.
Shannon. I believe mine also came with a sticker at the time of purchase as well, and it's a sticker of his tattoo that he had around his wrist.
No.
I've got that. I threw that on my guitar case. Yeah, like we mentioned earlier, the cover art is just Shannon showing his arm, which is pretty cool because it's
And his head's cut off.
Yeah, it's just his arm and his chest, and it's a really important tattoo to
got
himself.
Baggy ass jeans.
Yeah. Oh,
Jinko.
that was the style at the time.
Yeah, as was the style.
It was just before a Jinko really took off. Overall, I was very impressed with this release because I think I only paid 25 or 30
That's not bad.
plus shipping for a limited edition album that came with a sticker and it's a gatefold. You know, it's got a little liner note with what's on the back, picture of Shannon before a concert or something, just kind of like going down a hallway. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, especially considering the price went up on it because it was a limited edition. I don't regret buying it at all.
Well, what's your final verdict?
Boom.
I gave this one. Hold on, let me get to it. Get to my notes for my. Oh, I put the vinyl verdict all the way at the end.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So even though I'm not the biggest fan of this one in particular, it connects with me, and I would give it an 8 out of 10. I'd probably give Soup or something else like a 9 and would listen to those before I listen to this. But I still, I like it less than Scratch and Sniff, but more than pretty much all my other picks so far.
Huh.
Yeah.
Because I know how impassioned you were about the Beths that...
I still like the Beths.
The Beths has been going up in my tier list over time.
Yeah.
I still hate the Beths.
That's fine, Jamie.
So the Beths... The problem with the Beths, though, is that it's not a bad album. It's just not something that I'm into listening to right now.
Sure.
And and any other mood, I would probably the Beths is fun.
Yeah. They were good live. Like, really good live.
It bothers me that I hate it so much.
That's fine. I don't mind. And
Anyway.
that's the thing. I never mind when you guys don't like any of my albums because, like, I don't know.
I want it on the record that he does mind. Last time we were over here with a group of
He
people,
cried.
Oh, yeah.
he pulled out every record he'd reviewed yet and been like, they don't like my records, and
That was-
played them for
no,
everybody.
No, there were two. I put on Scratch and Sniff, and then after I put on the Beths, and that was it.
That was...
They don't like
No, you also put on Gift of Gab. I'm pretty darn sure.
No, I didn't. I pulled it out, but I didn't.
Okay, so you
put
put
it
a
on.
2 or 3 at the
Yeah,
time.
put on 2. Only 2.
Yeah, I thought it was it was hard to place. I didn't know because I like some of the tracks a lot. I like the theming, and like I said, it felt pretty coherent, and I didn't even know it was a collection of songs and that he had passed away and stuff like that. But I, thankfully can't relate to the songs and the story being told. And it reminded me of Nirvana, but again, that's the only kind of grungy music I'd listen to. Like even the other bands you were naming, I hadn't really ever.
Sure.
I would put this below Future Me Hates Me and
Oh,
above
wow.
the Now Now.
Oh,
Because though I like it, I don't want to listen to it.
Sure.
It is not a headspace I want to be in.
Yeah.
And I do like the album art and stuff like that, but I was uncomfortable, and not in a bad way, but if I'm picking records,
Yep.
I'm obviously not going to pick that. But it was well paced.
Sure.
It's just sad.
Yeah. Very
And the
much
story
so.
behind it just makes it
It's even worse.
more sad. It's like Mac Miller, where you're just like,
Yeah.
you listen to the lyrics when you know what
Yeah.
happened, and you listen to the story that's being told, and you're like, wow, this is just sad.
Totally.
What do you think, Jamie?
I dislike this album less than I dislike Future Me Hates Me.
Okay.
I like it less than Gift of Gab. What was your other one? Did you have another one?
Jazz Spastics.
Jazz Spastics. Scratch
I
and
like
Sniff.
this less than Jazz Spastics.
Yeah, okay.
It is far too depressing for me to listen to on a daily basis or like ever again. Much like what Bell said. It is inoffensive in the sense that it is well played in most cases, except for like the ones that are like clearly played in a rush.
Yeah.
And recorded in a like a big damn hurry or on an answering machine. I think I have a better appreciation for Blind Melon from listening to it because like you said, the reason I don't like Blind Melon is because No Rain sucks.
Yeah.
Well,
It's a hit for a reason, but I'm not crazy about it either.
I would say that on my up scale of 7 out of 13, I'd probably rate it as like a 7 out of 13.
Okay, that's not
pretty
bad.
high,
Yeah, it's over half.
Well, it's not terrible. Like it's not an album that I would go and say, "Oh, this is an awful album."
Mm-hmm.
I would like how dare you make me listen to it? It's just like what did I give like the best? Didn't I give it like 3?
It's something bad. Yeah,
Yeah,
you did
something-
not
yeah,
like it.
yeah.
Like it's
It's
a
low.
better album than the best.
Sure.
that's good.
I will never listen to this album ever again.
Yeah.
But I appreciate
Yeah.
that you shared it with us.
Sure, thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
I like all the Tortured Soul albums, so I listen to a lot of super depressing
Where
shit.
does the Beths fit in?
Well, because all the lyrics in that was really sad.
They're really
too.
sad. Yeah,
so
they're
very
really-
but they were sad in like a sappy way.
Yeah, sure. I don't
Yeah.
know. I like ska for the same reason. It's usually sad lyrics over like really upbeat,
Yeah.
happy music.
Yeah, I don't know. I like this one. I hope we choose more that has impact because
Sure.
I feel like a lot of the songs hit and like made me viscerally feel something.
Yeah,
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Yeah.
I just don't want to listen to it
Yeah, that's
Ever
fine.
because
again.
it was visceral in a way that I don't want to experience.
Yeah. Well, that's fine. It's funny because our next topic that we'll be doing is about albums that we regret buying or that we don't like. So get tuned for that, I guess, in case you want to listen to us really shit on a bunch of records.
I'm going to talk about a Rush album.
Yeah, maybe
Hate Rush.
if you like the albums we say, tweet at us. Maybe we'll send you the records we don't want to listen to that we own. So
Cool.
stay tuned. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.